Welcome to DMOP Garage. We are doing some interesting things today. We're going to do a restoration on a 1956 oval mirror. Now it's a right-hand drive one. These things don't exist. You can't buy them. I think back maybe 10 years ago there was a company that was doing reproductions, but they're gone. So I'll just show you what we've got. Now this is the right-hand drive mirror. Now you can see obviously the sun visor part snapped off, but I do have another one of those frames which is right here. So we're going to use the frame on that and then get a piece of black perspex. Now some of them were opaque, but this one is solid black, so we're just going to go with that same thing. What I'm interested in here is, you can see I've already polished up one of these guys, the mounting bracket, and I've got two of them. I need the mirror, the back of the mirror. Now obviously this mirror itself is no good, but we can get another piece of mirror glass cut and crimped back in. Now in order to remove this mirror, you have to peel out the glass in order to get to it from the inside. So there is no other way to do it. What we are going to do is, obviously this part here will have to be replated, and I've actually bought a plating kit, and I'm going to set up, I mean, I've got the powder coating oven and the powder coating machine, but I've never really been able to do any plating here. So I've bought a pretty comprehensive kit that's going to do copper, cobalt, nickel, zinc, all that stuff. Not cheap, about $1,400 for the set, but it's a 20-litre drum. You're going to be able to do big items, and a 40 amp power supply. So I'm going to be able to do bike parts and, you know, bracketry, you name it. So we're going to be able to plate this, which will be fantastic. So let's get this in the vise here. I've never pulled these things apart before, so it's going to be interesting to see how, you know, we really don't want to damage that aluminium backing because we're going to have to reuse that. So let's see, we're going to stick it in the vise here just so we've got something to grab onto. And we've got to start to try and pry out this piece of glass. So let's go. All right, so I've just got a couple of different screwdrivers here. We're just going to try to pry up this aluminium. Now, if the mirror breaks, doesn't matter because we're not using it. But my theory will be just to try and get in here. Yeah, I don't know. I don't like my chances without marring it up either. Oh no, there we go. Maybe. Because I know they rolled this edge. Yeah, but it is starting to, yeah, it is starting to damage it. Now I'm wondering, I don't want to break it because I need it as a template for the new glass. So yeah, we're kind of a bit stuck here, aren't we? Oh, there we go. Ah, underneath. Okay. No, I think we got the right reaction. There we go. So the underneath part of the mirror seems like it wants to separate. Spin it around. Once you get it started, yeah, it does want to actually, yeah, and it's not damaging it. That's good. Now the corners are going to be a different story. That's looking good actually. I just don't want to tear those corners, so I might try and just attack this little section. There we go. Try and keep your fingers away from that slipping action. There we go. That actually works pretty good, just very, very slightly rocking it back and forth. Again, keep the hands away. Just try and very gently pry it away. There we go. Okay, I'll just bring you in so you can have a better look at it. You can see, so I'm just kind of wriggling it back and forth as I go along. But I was even able to get that corner. So I think we'll do one more corner and then we should be able to slip it out. Oh, hello in there. Yeah, let's do that. Just very slight rocking back and forth is enough. We're looking good. So the aluminium's pretty soft, so okay. So there is a cardboard backing the mirror. Interesting that they put a cardboard backing on it. And then you can see in here they've got, okay, interesting. So you've got some little tabs. You can see here, it's got 3 tabs on either side. That takes care of that. And then the whole thing, that's actually up against the ball joint. So we'll just bend these tabs down and we're good to go. Now, to get this apart, that has to come out of there, like so. Huh. How do you take this off? By sliding it through, of course. So we need to pull the rest of this thing apart. Okay, now, we can't use this anyway, so let's just chop that in half. Alright. I wonder if we can reuse those rivets. We might be able to. Don't throw that away. Okay, now, this one here, you can see here it has a couple of little cotter pins in there. So we've got to drill those out so that we can slide this off. Okay, unfortunately, that part did not come off. Doesn't matter, we don't need it anyway. So all we need to do now is just run these out like so. This one we're not using because it's actually bent. Okay, so next is going to be, well, we can actually restore this, get this nice and shiny. Hopefully these tabs will still do the job. We can probably just JB weld them in if needs be, I suppose, just to put that back into position. Because one of the tabs is already broken, so should be all right. Okay, so what we're going to do, yeah, this edge came up really nice. Hasn't marred it up too bad at all. We'll be able to get that back looking schmicko. So we're going to go and give this a sand up and then give it a buff. All right, there we go. So that's just on the buffer for about 5 minutes. Just went through a couple of grades. I used a bit of Scotch-Brite just to get all the oxidization off first, and then 600, 800, 1000 grit, and then polish. And yeah, that's going to come up perfect with the new mirror. We should be good to go. So the next thing, we're going to have to just get this sucker here ready for plating. So this is going to have to be sanded and polished up pretty much to that sort of finish before we go near any bath of plating. So we'll get all this rust off it and go from there. Okay, so what I've done, I've found a piece of old mirror. Here's our template. You can see that's what we need, and there you go. I just need to go around that with the grinder or the linisher. I'm going to go and put it on the linisher actually, and just as long as I linish off that line, then we should be good to go. So let's take it over to the linisher and see how we go. It could shatter into a million pieces, I don't know. But it's worth a try. All right, let's see how we go.
A few moments later.
Okay, so it worked actually no problem. The idea, so that you're not actually chipping the glass, what you do is 45 chamfer on the top, 45 chamfer on the bottom, and then you take the middle and it won't chip and break and splinter. So that's the key. If you just go straight into the linisher straight on, it'll actually chip out the back, and then you'll end up with a part that's no good. So that's the key, 45, 45, and then take the rest off. And it's actually quite smooth. I went down to 240, and that will clamp in nicely once we've got the rest of it plated. So that bit's done, and we can put that aside now. That's our little backing, and that's our old mirror there. So, you know, it's a little bit knackered on the side. I can use that for a little inspection mirror or something, so we'll keep it. Don't throw anything away. And then the idea is now, I've just been stripping off the rust off this. We've got to get this absolutely perfect. And then we're going to buff it. And then to go through the cleaning process and then get it plated. Nickel cadmium. It'll come up like a chromate. And yeah, we'll be good to go. The next thing I've got to do is go and find some black acrylic perspex in 2mm. So we can remake this piece here. And then we'll obviously polish up all the framework, take the rivets out, and we can reassemble it into its frame. So what we've done there is we've just separated the bracket, and these are those little aluminium rivets. I've got to try to find a couple of new ones of those. But you can see here, we're just going to take the rest of these rivets out, then we can remove the plastic. We can polish up this part, we can polish up this part. Yeah, let's get that in pieces. Okay, so we have these ones polished up. I just did these on the buffing machine. And this little part here, they will come up nice. We've got that as a little bit of a template. I'll go and get the it's 2mm Perspex black. And yeah, we should be able to just copy the design and get it replicated. Oh, we'll keep going. Okay guys, so we have our black acrylic perspex that we're going to, you can see I've actually drawn the picture or the template for our sun visor. So we're just going to chop this out. I'm just going to use a 4-inch grinder. I know it's probably not the right tool, but it cuts through this stuff pretty easily. Then we can trim it up on the linisher to get it right. And then of course we can put it back into the frame. So let's cut this sucker out. You can see the 4-inch grinder works pretty good. It chops it fairly clean. What we're going to do now is just bring it down to the line on the linisher. So let's head over there. And we also have our broken piece here that we can just double check it. So, all right, over here. Okay, so what we're going to do now is swap out the belt to a finer one, and that's just going to give us a better finish on it. So we're going to drop it down to a, what's this one, a 400? Yeah, 400. Okay, so I'm pretty much just keeping the protective layer on there for now until we're finished, and we can peel it off because we want to get scratches all over it. But that should be good to go. We can give it a bit of a test fit. Now, the curved radius goes to the outside, and that goes on the inside. So it's probably going to be a tight fit. We will have to take the protective layer off, otherwise it's going to get stuck inside it, and that won't work. So yes, we're going to have to take it off. But I don't think it'll be a problem. That's going to fit nice. What we can do, this edge here is the one that we're going to see. Obviously none of that is going to be seen, so we might just, that's a bit of 6. We're just going to clean up this radius that we're going to see. And then the final thing we're going to do is put a bit of plastic polish on it with a rag. And you can see there, it just gives you a nice professional finish on it when we take the tape off. She's going to look good. Right, okay, so next stage is we'll peel it off. We're going to get it rammed into here, then we can drill some holes for our rivets and get this sucker riveted together. So we should be able to just grab the corner. Very nice. And the beautiful thing about this is I only ordered off eBay. I just ordered a small sheet, and the guy gave me 2 big bloody massive pieces, so I've got enough to last forever. One thing I've noticed with this Perspex, if you leave this on for a long time, it won't come off. It'll just bond on there, and then you'll have all sorts of issues. So if you're doing projects, don't leave it for, like, I'm talking years, but there we go. That's looking good. Now the originals were obviously pot riveted in there. Yeah, we're going to have to just open that up a little bit. There we go. That's what it's going to look like. So we'll just drill a couple of little holes here. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 rivets to put in. So we can do that now. Okay guys, so as you would have seen in the previous video on the nickel plating, here's our arm. Oh yeah. I mean, that's as close to chrome as you're going to get, and especially plating at home. It's all plated and ready to rock and roll. Now we've just basically got to reassemble it. Now what I'm going to do also is use these original rivets, and I'm going to pop them back through and just use half of each and glue them in there, because obviously I couldn't buy these aluminium rivets, so we're just going to use the originals, and I've got 6, so I can do 3 from one side, 3 from the other. All right, let's get it done. First off, we have to put our cover on, and that would be correct, like so. And then we just have to bend these tabs down, and hopefully they don't snap. You can see how that lives just like that from the back, and it's quite stiff. That's good. Okay, next, paper. Not sure why they've got paper in there, but they do. And then the glass, and then we've got to slightly peen over the edge. Okay, so that's in. Now what we have to do is we have to just roll the edge a bit. And I'm just going to use a piece of nylon. Just use that because it's not going to mar up the aluminium. So probably need a bit of force on this. There we go. Done. So that's how that lives. Now we can actually assemble the rest of this. So we've got to find it's got a little kink here, and that's got to correspond with that little notch here. So, oh, actually, we need to work out which way does that go on. Does it go that way, or does it go that way? Okay, guys, so if you look here, we're just using these little pins, and we just feed them into the rod there, and then just grind the tip off them, and that locks that in. Okay, so now I've just clipped this aluminium part on, and we're going to do the rivets. Basically there's a little kink here that we've just got to add, and that's going to go into that little hole here, or into that little recess, so it's going to stop this from falling off. So we've got to get it so that it's right on cue there, and then we'll just crimp that once we're finished. That's going to stop it from coming out. Now what we've got to do is we've got to get this so that yeah, so that it's not just flapping around like that. It's going to have some tension on it. So that's where we're going to have to clamp this and get it super tight. I'll get some glue into those, pop the rivets in, and we'll be good to go. All right guys, there we go. All complete, put back together, and ready to go into the Beetle once it's restored. We've got so much work to do over there, but at least that's one part. You just can't buy these, so I just thought it'd be great to restore it. So there you go. All right guys, well, we'll see you in the next video, and cheers for all the new subscribers. You.